Welcome to the video. In today's video, I'm gonna survive 100 days as a zombie engineer. I have to build turrets, traps, and a very cool unique base. There will be hundreds of zombies trying to bite me, and it is my sole goal to survive 100 days and complete this challenge for you guys. So grab some popcorn and enjoy the video. Just like any day one, I went ahead and broke some trees. Running around the world, I found a village. In the village, I did not see a single villager, and I went inside the house. I saw a chest that contained pants, and the house was not very big, and as far as I understand, it had no owner. It was difficult to enter some houses. I heard the inhabitants, but they did not come out. When I saw their farms, I couldn't resist. I decided to take a few crops for myself. I did notice that there was a single house, the last one in the village in fact, that I didn't check. Inside was a chest and there was a burger and some sticks. As I walked around the village, I noticed that they had a well, and around the well there were houses, and the village was basically built around it, and the houses were actually sunken to the ground, which was weird. I then again decided to check one more house, and there was another chest inside, and I've got some armor and some iron from it. By fully exploring this village and going into all the houses and looting them, I received a small amount of supplies and resources, which allowed me to exist even for like the first night. In this amount of time, I got armor and food. Nighttime was setting in, and I managed to create my sword. And the village I was in, I heard weird sounds. Zombies were frightening, but I took my sword and went out to fight them. There were 4 of them when I saw them, and they immediately started attacking me and trying to bite me and stuff like that. They demolished my health. I quickly understood that I was very ill-equipped to fight them, so I ran away. To build myself a bed, I went in search of sheep. So when I saw a small number of them, I ran up and quickly got rid of them for their wool. But then I noticed that there was a backpack under a tree, so someone must have left it there. This couldn't have been a random spawn. I took it for myself, and turns out there was a lot of room, so this is a very big expansion to my inventory. The backpack looks really nice, but its main feature is capacity and convenience for me. I don't require a workbench no more. It is inside the backpack, and I can also store lava and water by pouring the buckets inside of the little containers on the sides of it. So I craft myself a bed, and I am ready to go to sleep. The day was actually pretty productive because I got a lot of materials and stuff. I got a lot of food, weapons and tools, and even armor. With this, I can actually survive a few more nights in the zombie apocalypse. All that's left is the engineering tools. On the next day, I decided that I needed to look for more tools and resources. So I decided to go mining, and it was very dark and uncomfortable, but then I didn't get any luck at first. By going deeper, I did manage to find some iron and also lapis lazuli, and then there was some lava here also, and I did craft a bucket because I thought that I would need the lava for the future, maybe to protect my base or something. Also, by wandering around the mine, I did come across a small amount of redstone, and I did of course get it because I am an engineer, and engineers need a lot of redstone. Turrets, machinery, factories, everything will be powered by redstone, so I'm gonna need a lot more than what I have with me now. Going a bit further, I did decide to also get some coal because I need torches and furnaces to smelt everything that I got. Lava was the only bright light in this cave. It illuminated everything around me, so I took a little bit. I decided to use my lava buckets and put it inside of my backpack. I gradually poured more and more into it, and I'm gonna use it again in the future when the time is convenient. In order to protect my base, I need all the equipment that I can get. It was already dark, and I was still walking around in the mountains looking for a place to sleep, and then out of nowhere 2 zombies creep up on me and start attacking me. Thankfully, I did have my sword handy with me, but although I am scared for the health of the sword because it's not looking too good if I'm gonna continue on battling the zombies left and right everywhere. So I'll definitely need like a tool or a sword upgrade. Finding a good place in the marshy terrain near the lake, I discovered that my backpack could be spread out and there's a sleeping bag inside of it, so I no longer require like a literal bed. I will from now on use the backpack. I placed the backpack and I also placed torches around it to illuminate the ground in case any zombies come. I again stumbled into a cave in search of new resources. I spent a lot of time and extracted a lot of resources until I saw in the depths of the tunnel a chest all overgrown with cobwebs. I went up to it and began to clean them from the cobwebs. Opening the chest, I found inside a large amount of heals, sword, torches, and arrows. From my previous zombie encounters, I decided that I do need a shield. The shield will work great in my favor. I need the protection, so I did craft myself one and it's beautiful. I feel myself a lot more confident, and I did decide to actually make myself some iron armor as well, because I do have the resources and I will require it if I am to encounter any big hordes of zombies, or they will totally annihilate me in one fell swoop. Walking around the world, I did notice that there was a zombie boss, and behind him there was a chest, so I did decide to actually lure out the big zombie boss and battle him. Turns out he was really difficult because he absolutely destroyed my health points. He actually flew me around, swung me around, battered me, and it was a very tough battle. But in the end, I did kill him, but it was a very difficult and tough fight. When he first fell, I thought it was fight over, but no, he got back up and I decided to kill him again. And then I was waiting for him to go back up, and he did, and I had to beat him again. But then after a few tries, he did manage to die, leaving a huge mutant pair of bones and rotten flesh. He died in a very quick fight. It was really difficult, but due to my new armor and sword, I won. Coming up to the chest that he was guarding, there was gold and a turret, and the turret is actually really good because I will use it for my future base and future endeavors. This day was actually really productive, and I created a new armor set, some good tools, got myself a shield, got a turret with a lot of parts, even killed a zombie boss in a fight, which was very difficult and I did struggle quite a bit. But we did manage to defeat him, and that's it for this day. It was time to go to bed. Running around and looking for a place to build my base at, I came across a village that was almost covered with earth. The villagers had a certain vibe to them. They decided to stay in their houses and not walk outside, which was pretty weird. The crops were also empty. Maybe because of the climate, it was strange all around. As I stumbled upon a pond, I remembered that I need glass for my base windows, so I decided to actually get some sand and start looking for a quiet little place to build my base around. That is because I'm really tired of wandering around aimlessly, so I need to settle down and get my turrets set up and get my engineering hub ready. When I did manage to find a good place, I did decide to actually get my base started. So before starting any base, you need the foundation. So the foundation was made from light wooden planks. The place was actually really nice, but there was a lot of vegetation that I needed to get rid of, because or otherwise there was no space for me to build my base. In this second stage of construction, I did decide that I would need to build the walls, and I thought for a very long time and decided that I would use stone, because stone would actually protect me from fire, because never mind, don't forget that I will use lava around my base. So if the fire spreads to my base and onto my supposed wooden walls, that would not be very good. There was also a lot of flowers around my base that I needed to get rid of. In the fourth stage of building the house, half of the house was already built. I spent a long time looking at each block and deciding which one I would use for my walls. In the end, I did like the stone block. In the fifth stage of building the house, if you guys didn't forget, I did decide that it was gonna be pretty, and I remember actually picking up a lot of sand to build. In the sixth stage of the house is completely ready, except for the roof. The roof I wanted to actually put on to look stylish. I also completed a tunnel around my house and filled it with lava, which I poured into my backpack. I also built a stone fence through which the zombies can't get in. Then I also built a turret to protect my house, which I found in the chest after collecting it and turning it on. I repulsed the invasion of zombies who so wanted to get a piece of me. I have built a base and it was really strong. It withstood the attack of all the zombies. Also thanks to the turret, which worked very well in protecting my base. The zombies fell into the lava and they started to burn, but that was not enough. They also got shot by my turret, which was an absolute amazing sight to witness. The first night and morning I spent in the finished base delivered like immense pleasure to me because I remembered the time before the zombie apocalypse even began. Before the zombie invasion, I had a normal life and I really felt like a normal human being again, spending the night in the comforts of my own home in a very safe base that I decorated myself. It felt great. After building the base, I decided to go in search of new resources. I went to the mine and started digging for resources, but then I saw a huge zombie boss, which intimidated me. So I laid low, and then I fell into a reflection, and I actually thought that maybe I should attack him this time. He was not that strong this time because I had better loot, so I think it's good if I make an effort to kill him. Behind the boss was a secret chest that was completely in spiderweb, so I began to actually destroy it. And after some time, I cleaned it, and opening it, I saw a bow like kind of torch holder, and also arrows. I immediately put it on and it was much stronger than my last iron bow, but also there weren't a lot of arrows, so I realized that I will need to craft the arrows myself further on. The blue bib has a much greater margin of safety than my previous one, so now all that remains is to find a cool sword I can go to war with without fear of defeat, and it should look very stylish and cool. And seeing how I look, blue breastplate with bow and a shield, I look like a real Viking that's ready for war. Wandering in search of new resources and tools, I came across an already abandoned mine, with tracks apparently going inside, and trolleys engaged in mining activity. So I don't know if they will be useful to me, and therefore I will maybe collect a few of them for the future. I don't know if they will help me, but I will take them with me. When I walked out of the mine and walked towards the house, it was already dark enough, passing the hill, so I was attacked by a small horde of zombies, and I began to shoot them with my bow, but they got closer and closer and closer, and I had to grab my sword and finish the rest of them with my hand. I was heading towards the house, all dried up and hungry, so I ended up in the desert and I saw birds. So I tagged them with the purpose of killing them and getting their meat, so I could probably cook it and then eat it, regen my health, and then somehow survive on my journey home. I swam in the direction of the house, and it was already nighttime, and I was really tired. I wanted somewhere to stop and rest, but I didn't meet any islands along the way. And when I did see an island, it appeared in the distance. Seeing it, I decided to swim closer. I swam, and I saw there was a huge number of zombies, but it did not stop me. As I swam on the other side, I got on the island, and I immediately sent the zombies flying. They began to attack me, and I began to fight them. I fought them with all the might that I had. I got a bit attacked and bit by the zombie boss, and he began to throw me and beat me and throw me into the water, and we already started fighting in the water. It was crazy, and that was the most difficult fight I ever had in this video yet. So I thought I was already dead, but I managed to survive somehow. We finished fighting in the water, and the fight was very long and hard, and when I succeeded in killing the boss, I swam to an island. The seas somehow scared me, so I decided to randomly go on an island, and I managed to climb it. I was met by a horde of zombies, and after I tried fighting them, they got me quickly pinned down in a cave. Running into the cave was a great idea because the zombies lost me. I disappeared from their view of sight, but deeper in the cave there was a chest in which there was a new backpack and binoculars, but I didn't have time for it, so I considered hiding myself in a cave, and then I started regenerating my health. As I was regenerating, I was thinking of my next moves and where I should go after this. I tried to be very careful, but the zombies immediately noticed me, and they began to pinch me again. So many of them came, and it was a non-stop wave of them. I began to kill them, and as I killed them, more followed. And I also gave up the position in front, so I didn't know what to do. They swept me into a small area, and I was panicking. But I gathered myself and decided to get out of here fast as I could. I fought back and I almost died, which was really bad. I was stuck in captivity and around me there was like a huge pack of zombies, and I almost said goodbye to my life. So this video could have ended right here, but it didn't. I sat and thought, what should I do? And then one thing did come to my mind, an interesting idea on how I can get out of here and survive. I started to craft a boat to get my freedom, and while I was crafting the boat and patching my way out into the kind of open ocean, sand started falling on top of me, which was really dangerous, but I managed to break away and I finally got out. Finally getting out of here, I was so happy that I did decide to craft a boat and sail away, because I was looking now for an island to sleep. I am so happy that I got to save my life and I didn't die, because this was a very close call. And yeah, the island I slept on was a really good island. There weren't many zombies, and if not for my ingenuity and survival skills, I wouldn't have survived this. I sailed all night and saw the shore only on daytime, and the island hit me right away. There were zombies who I safely killed by stepping on the ground and beating them to death. I recovered my breath quickly from the previous night, and the view took my breath away right again. It was just so pretty. Remembering that there was a chest and I grabbed all the loot from it, I can finally look at the loot that I received, and the loot was really good. There was a chest with a capacious backpack that was in bold red. In the same chest also laid binoculars, which were practically new. I tested them and it showed very far. Now I can scope out any future islands without even having to go personally, like up close. Being on a new island, I decided to go mining, and while wandering through it for quite a long time, there was a lot of time that I spent in this cave. Many different resources that I found, but finally I found diamonds, and not one or two, but like a whole stack that I safely collected, or you could say extracted from the ground, and then I went further down the mine. As I walked further down through the mine, I spent a lot of time searching for like iron, coal, and gold, and then I came to the lava level, and upon walking further beside lava, I found even more diamonds and other, of course, miscellaneous resources. I roamed here for quite a long time, and then when I finally got lost, I decided that it was time to go home. I lost count of how long I was in the caves, but I found enough cool resources for me to craft and use in the future, so I decided to craft myself a full diamond set. I understand that when I was fighting zombies previously, I was very ill-equipped. I didn't have any armor, and in such a situation, it's almost like a must-have to have like a full, not even iron, but like a full diamond set, especially that I've been roaming for such a long time, and I'm encountering very resistant and like resilient hordes of zombies. I need pretty much really good armor, so a diamond set is exactly what I need. In the new armor and with a sword, I looked very intimidating. I really honestly felt like a Viking that sailed from Scandinavia to conquer new lands. I feel like a real conqueror of new land here, and that's primarily because I've been lost for such a long time. I've been wandering all this time without returning to my home, but in return I did find quite a lot of good stuff. Finally, I went home, and the road was very long, lonely, and also difficult. I'm pretty certain not everyone can pass it. and even less so on half the way. I started to become very tired, but I persevered on, you could say. And the road was progressing in difficulty. There were zombies everywhere. I also went through a snow biome where I encountered penguins. I said hi to them, they said hi to me, and I continued on my journey. Finally, I came back to my house, and I wasn't here for a very long time. I left quite a while ago, and this is like the first time that I finally managed to come back. I'm a totally different man, to be honest. But yeah, as time went on, nothing pretty much changed in the house, and this day is pretty much perfect. I can see that my base is in perfect condition, I can also enjoy the view, and I can go to bed. After all, I overcame so much on this journey. It was a very difficult one, but I managed to persevere, and we got back to the base, finally. When I got home, I decided to sort everything I have in the backpack. All the garbage and the resources I collected are scattered around in my backpack and cabinets and stoves. So I decided to kind of get some help. My campaign turned out successful. It's about time for me to go to sleep, and I'll see you guys in the next day. There was a very loud noise at first, and I didn't understand what happened, but when I went outside, I realized that there were so many zombies, and they broke the fence and began the attack. They were on my plot of land, and the turrets were disabled, so I had to do it by hand. I had to take back my own territory. Fighting off a small part of the zombies, one of them broke through to my side. I closed the hole they made, and then I finally went to sleep. This case let me know that my base is not perfect, and what you can get on it is not difficult. I just need to reinforce some things like better fencing, more turrets, more lava traps, and maybe even more sirens, you could say. You know what, maybe even more friends to help me along the way. But yeah, my base is not that safe, and I can definitely make it a lot safer. Fighting off a small portion of the zombies, which broke through to my side, I closed the holes they made, and I finally went to sleep. This time, let me know when my base is not in perfect condition, and I will fix it. It is not that difficult. While I was away at home, doing business with resources, I heard the sounds of zombies, and the fact that the turret began to shoot. When I went out into the street, I saw a huge horde of zombies that tried to break through to me, but this time they didn't. They couldn't manage to break the fence. This horde was much bigger than any I've ever seen. The base withstood this attack, but I began to think where such hordes come from. Show up in my area, and when I settled here, it wasn't like this. Not a lot of zombies ever appeared, and I seriously thought about improving the defenses and structures, because if this base cannot withstand that attack, then in a day or two I will most likely die. Due to the increased frequency of the attacks by the hordes of zombies, I decided to improve. I already had the defenses of my base set up, with like lava on one block and also turrets. The lava was 3 blocks wide and 2 blocks deep. I think such protection measures should protect me from the zombie hordes, even if they somehow managed to break my fence. I went out and I wanted to get more resources, and I went into another cave where I met the boss skeleton that immediately began to attack. He was stronger than me and bigger than me. The fight was pretty tough in some moments. I almost even died with him there, and he did also a lot of damage. But my diamond armor and sword helped me a lot in this fight. When I killed him, behind his back, I found a chest that contained parts for another turret and some chicken burgers. In connection with taking into account the attacks of hordes of zombies, another turret beside my house would be very, very handy. Now, I'm just gonna go home and improve my base. I thought also for a very long time on how to improve my base. It's sort of like a fortress, and I don't like the passage, well, the entrance to it, because I have to jump over a fence every single time. But instead, if I could also build a bridge over the lava, while on the bridge, make a gate that shouldn't miss the zombies on the bridge itself. I also should place 2 turrets to protect the bridge and the entrance to my base. While I was asleep at night, I heard screams. I woke up completely confused. Going out into the street, I saw how my very, very large gate was approached by a horde of zombies. When I saw them, I thought that that was the end. But then I remembered that I took a turret from the chest and ammo. So I quickly assembled the turret, and the attack did not last very long, as the turret was very effective in shooting down hordes of zombies, and I felt very, very safe. And I also used my diamond sword and got more XP if I ever wanted to enchant my gear. All that's left of such a big horde is rotten flesh. The turret killed all the zombies pretty quickly. There were so many zombies, I ran out of ammo, and I had to refuel the turrets. They performed very well, they came in very useful and improved the degree of my protection. If I had not improved the base back then and now, I would not have survived this. So the turret did in fact came in very, very, very handy. I woke up in the morning hungry, and after eating, I realized that I have no more food left. So I began to think how to get more of it. So I need to go hunting soon, and that also showed me that I don't have any active farms going. And I don't have any active farms going because there is like a drought. Well, not a drought, but this is a very sunny area. There's not a lot of water here, but I can craft a few buckets and maybe make a farm in the near future at some point. After building the beds, I realized that the wheat will not grow quickly and went to mine for a long time. I worked on it, and in the end I already wanted to go back home. I hit the dungeon in which lava flowed and came into contact with the water, and in return I got obsidian, which I decided to take because I'm gonna build a portal to the nether. Also, during my sorting, I found lots of redstone and diamonds while I was underground. I thought, how can I get out, because I left my home and over a long distance I needed to get back. Where will I be when I will finally get above ground? I don't know, and it's probably gonna be a very long hike. It's gonna get me exhausted, and the only thing that I can do actually is go back home and hope that no zombies broke through my fences, destroyed my turrets, and that I am still gonna have a base when I get back. I went through a lot, but finally I saw my house. It was already late. I decided to go into my house and go to bed. But before that, maybe I could allocate some more resources, like melt some iron, some gold in the furnace, and also sort all the resources that I found or mined. I spent quite a bit of time doing that, but then the day was over. As soon as I woke up, I was very hungry. I looked into my backpack to find what I could eat, but I found nothing. So I had to go and roam the world looking for more meat, cows, pigs, whatever I could eat. I do have a little farm going, but it's not that great. I collected all the wheat that I could from my replenished farm, and then I crafted a lot of bread that I will eat. I then decided to go on a trip to explore the world and get more resources. I made this decision not in vain, because when I ran way over half a hill, I saw a pyramid in the lake, and I thought that it was pretty dangerous going there, and yeah, it turns out I nearly drowned. But then I saw that there was no one on the floor. I saw a button, I kind of pressed it, and I shouldn't have done that because underneath I heard TNT explosions. carefully going down inside, I found 4 chests, in which were very strange resources. But at the core, I found a saddle that would help me a lot in my campaigns, and then I also found diamonds and a lot of gunpowder, sand, bones, all in one chest. And there was also a backpack. I took it, looked at it, and realized my backpack is pretty much better than the one I found recently, the one I'm gonna continue journeying with. I think I reattached to my current backpack. While I continued sorting out my inventory and also looking for more loot, I was actually looking for a horse. I noticed a house that looked abandoned. I looked through the binoculars I had, and not all residents were visible. I decided to see what was in it. So I come up and got attacked by a zombie. I decided to kill the zombies, and when I got closer to the house, it looked very abandoned. The house didn't look like a home. The door was boarded up, and then I opened it and I was attacked again while in the house. When I broke the rest of the door, I saw a zombie who immediately went to me. I killed him and I started inspecting the house. Inside, I realized that no one was here for a very long time, as there was cobweb everywhere. An overgrown, broken floor. I decided to look in it, and it contained apples and diamonds and an axe as well, and a very beautiful shield. All of my wanderings around the world resulted in failure because I did not find a horse despite looking for it for such a long time. But nonetheless, as I went over a hill, I saw it. I saw the horse, finally. It was just sitting there, so I came up to it, fed it apples, I put a saddle on it, and we became quick friends. I rode on it back home, which was way better than going on by my feet. When we got back home together, I was wondering where to put it, so I decided to make a fence and a leash. And I came to the front of the house and then stuck the fence and put the horse on the leash. But before that, I did examine her very closely. The horse was actually, with it, I can actually travel the world at immense speeds, which is a lot faster than using my feet, which I've been using all this time. So it's definitely an upgrade, and I'm gonna be careful not to get the horse killed by zombies, so I'm gonna have to actually protect it. After my very long absence, I decided to go to the garden in the backyard, and I saw that almost every seed that I planted before leaving grew up. I began to collect them, and I finished by putting the seeds back into the ground for another good harvest. And from the wheat that I picked up, I made all the bread that I could, and it turned out there was quite a bit of it. It will last me a very long time, which is really good. The obsidian that I found in the mine and I collected is still with me, so I decided that it was time to go to the nether. I started to build a portal, and then I decided to build right in the breakout of the house, a few blocks down. I trimmed and decorated the new basement, and I did decide by creating a lighter. I went to the portal and then I lit it. The nether was very uncomfortable, you could say. It was red and ugly, and I walked around for quite a little while, and then I did find the glowstone. By destroying the glowstone blocks, I managed to get the glowstone dust. And then I'm gonna take it back to my house, and I'm gonna craft quite a bit of lanterns for my own self to decorate my base around. And hopefully that's gonna also wander off, well, scare off the zombies. It wasn't long until I got back to the portal with everything what I need. And when I approached the portal, there was something beside it. It was big and scary, like very scary creatures. They were average size, well, not really big, but they were strange. That's for certain. I did decide that it was necessary to attack them first because they were easy targets when I killed them. I then immediately teleported and I was back. That's my parcel of my trip to the nether. I realized that the house lacked lightning, and I cannot put ordinary lamps. So that means I have to get something better. So I booked my trip to the nether, got the glowstones, and then I put them in. I put them above the bridge, around the house, and at my home's door. These luminous blocks were well worth my trip. While I sat at home, I thought and I distributed things in the chests. And then a terrible loud scream. When I went out into the outside world, I felt uneasy because there was an immense amount of zombies. An army I've never seen this big. I quickly loaded the cartridges into the turret and then began to shoot them myself. The battle was long and fierce, but yet it was not in vain, because I built such a serious defense mechanism. I built the best protection that I possibly could, and that includes the lava pit, the fence, the bridge, and of course the turrets, because I am an engineer. And with my engineering skills, I destroyed the zombie horde. It was crazy that I hurt them. Without the help of the turrets, I wouldn't have made it. When I went out of the gate, I saw a lot of slime and rot. A few zombies left, and they were still trying to attack me, so I quickly finished them off. And here we are, day 100. I am so happy that we finally got to finish the video, and I did complete the challenge, and I did got to day 100. It was a very, very difficult battle, but I did somehow manage to survive, which is absolutely amazing. I enjoyed every part of it, but guys, if you want a part 2, make sure to leave a comment and subscribe, and leave a comment and a like down in the description. With your comment and the like support, I will actually know that you are interested in a part 2 and a 200 days part, and I will record a 200 days part for you. But that's it, guys, for this video. If you enjoyed it, again, make sure to smash that like button. This is actually my first video on this channel, so if you want to see more, then make sure to subscribe. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I had a blast again. See you guys in the next one.